Alright guys, what's going on? Need some more drums back in Grand Keys for another episode of our Vanilla City Skylines 2 series. And in the last episode, we made quite a bit of progress in this part of the city. We built this whole waterfront redevelopment project. There used to be some industry here, as is shown by this, lingering ground pollution that hopefully will go away pretty soon. It seems like it's been definitely going away pretty quickly. But there's just this little bit left right here that these people are complaining about. But, oh well, they'll get used to it, I guess, and it'll go away eventually, so I'm not worried. But, yeah, we got some parts of the city named, we have some districts made, and we're going to expand today. The goal is to expand this part of the city once again, and we're going to actually purchase another tile over here and expand the city all the way over here. And I want to build the college today. So we currently only have elementary and high school education in the city, and we have $1 million in the bank. It seems like the perfect time to improve our education system and add another essential city service. So before we do that, though, I want to just talk about a couple of things that I noticed between the last episode and this one. And one thing that I want to pay attention to is these alleyways. So I didn't actually know that the one-way alleys actually have parking on them. So in some of these areas, I like the way that the alleys look as some of the side streets, especially in some of these, like, when you're kind of starting off and you don't want these like big bulky streets everywhere. It's kind of helpful to have these alleyways in some of these older neighborhoods. And I assume that we might, redo some of these city blocks later and replace some of these, but for now I kind of like the way that these look. But the downside to these is that they have no parking on them, so parking kind of becomes an issue. But people find, they find ways to park their cars other places and stuff. So I guess what I'm trying to say is I might going forward replace some of these with some of these one-way alleyways, especially like in here, which I actually might do that right now. I just might replace this one here with a one-way alleyway. That way, now people can actually park in front of their homes here, and it's not like they have to find a bunch of places to park, especially in this area where there's a lot of traffic going on and stuff. It might be helpful to kind of have those placed around some of these areas. Same thing, I think they look good in, some of these spots with these like row homes and stuff here. It might be nice to have like a one-way alleyway maybe right here, like that. That'll look good there. People can park and, they'll be right in front of their homes and don't have to worry about trying to find some really weird street parking elsewhere or anything like that. So just something to keep in mind. I'm glad that I kind of found that. And actually right here too, I think this will be another good spot. You could throw some of these down right there like that. There we go. Yeah, so like I said, the goal for today is to really expand this part of the city, and I'm thinking about putting like some kind of complete, almost like a second town over here that is sort of separate from Presiona. So it'll have a different name, it'll be kind of its own thing, and it'll be, kind of the college town of this area. And I'm not, obviously this won't be a university, it'll just be like a standard college or a community college, but at the very least it'll offer our third level of education for the whole city, since we currently don't have that. But the first thing that we're going to do is purchase this tile. It's not super expensive, is what it is, can't complain. And then the next thing that I want to do is, in the theme kind of what I've been trying to do lately a little bit more, is lay out our what's called the Jeffersonian grid. So if you don't know what the Jeffersonian grid is, it's kind of something that you saw, you used to see like kind of in the US. It's very obvious if you look on Google Maps. Basically, it's just this this way that land was divided up, and so you see everything is divided up into these very large sort of square areas, and it's very common in like farmland and stuff to see that, and it kind of shapes the way that cities grow and develop. You see like these county roads and state roads and things, and the Jeffersonian grid really plays a big part in that, right? So kind of trying to emulate that here. I think it's kind of a cool thing to implement in your cities. I know City Planner Plays does it, and that's kind of what gave me the idea. And the more I think about it, the more I really like it. So we're gonna kind of do that in our cities as we build. So it's kind of following the tiles, so we could see like some of these nice borders for us here. And actually, you know what? I'm gonna not do the. You know what? I always wonder if I want to put it on the inside of the tile or the outside, but I think in this case I'm going to do it on the inside because of where this mountain is. It might be a little bit easier to make this terrain, to work with this terrain kind of on if we do it on this side of the dividing line. So we'll probably purchase this tile as well, but I'm going to hold off on that for right now since we don't really need to do that at this very moment. Yeah, so for this area, This avenue is obviously going to run through here and connect up somewhere over here to like another sort of kind of maybe like a rural highway. Which reminds me, I think did I upgrade this yet? No, I didn't. I'm thinking about upgrading this to a highway as well. We might do that later on, but just like a 2-lane, like a rural road. But I want to see where this county road goes first. But anyway, in terms of the college. So the college I want to place right over here, kind of in this area. I think it'll look really nice here, kind of right along the coast. It'll be sort of a destination for the area. And we'll build up kind of around it over here. You know, we started building this little suburb over here, so we'll kind of expand this out a little bit. But then I do imagine that there will be some higher density developments over here, kind of as we build the college. You know, you figure a lot of students will want to live in apartments, some homes a little bit more affordable. Obviously, they won't be having like any single family homes, and so so close to that we'll have, you know, some medium to higher density developments. And then we'll also probably have a shopping district very close by, so something that's walkable for the students. So I'm imagining maybe, you know, a mix of kind of some mixed use housing and some medium density commercial. And also you think that like in a college area like that, there's going to be a lot of demand for some, let's call them entertainment services for the beverage kind of sort. You know, obviously there's tons of bars and stuff in college towns, and some, you know, recreational and leisure activities for the students. So yeah, we'll build that kind of as well. And I know we don't have like any kind of specialty districts in this game like we did in City Skylines 1, but at the very least we can kind of imagine that, you know, if we have a little bit of a denser commercial area, that a lot of those areas would be some nice bars and restaurants for the students to go and hang out at after class. So we'll develop all that. And then finally, I think over here we will add kind of similar to this, just like a beachside neighborhood, something with a coastal kind of vibe, something very, very nice. You know, a cool kind of place to live. This will be a very fun community, pretty vibrant. I'm really excited to build this. And one more thing that I also noticed that we kind of don't have a lot of right now is police coverage. So I'm thinking about a place maybe to place a police station down. And honestly, this spot's not looking too bad right here. We have this kind of weird space here. So maybe we'll come back to that at the end of the episode and see what weird spaces we have left, and see if we can work in kind of a police station to any one of those. So I'm not too sure what I'm going to do about a road layout with the college. I kind of want to have it sit at like an angle. So I think let's just start real quick before we actually really get into laying out the roads in this area. Let's just go ahead and lay out like some very basic, something very basic where I kind of want the college to sit. And so I'm thinking, in terms of the building, I'm thinking of the modern community college. And the reason that I like this one is that it only has it. First of all, well, the drawback is that it's $75,000 a month upkeep, which is the same as any other college option, but it has half the student capacity. However, it also has half the price. And I know we got $1 million, but I just feel like the city is just not ready for something that needs 10,000 capacity. I would like to build a second college in the future, you know, somewhere else in the region. So for this one, I think we just need the smaller one, and we can extend this as well. So it should add some additional capacity. The one thing I want to be conscious of is the area of this. So I think there's a couple of upgrades, but I think I'm guessing that the extension wing is going to be the only one that's going to be in the footprint. I bet you the other ones, like the dormitory and the sports field, are going to be out of the building footprint. So I want to leave some room for those, and hopefully we can we can work around that. But so I think I want to make this sit kind of at like a 45, kind of along this coast. So what we're going to do, I think, is we're going to create 45-degree angle with, I know this isn't a perfect 90, which is kind of frustrating the way that these county roads are now. So let's actually make, instead of that building that road that I just built, let's actually make a perfect 90. And then we'll make a 45, I think. Yeah, there we go. There's a 45 right there. So now we can use this as sort of our guideline for where we want the college to sit. And I don't know if this is going to be enough space between this and the coast, but at the very least, what we could do, now we have a nice grid that we could work with, right? So maybe we could put the college somewhere like there, and then be able to work in all of the different extensions and stuff. So let me see if I delete this road, that's going to fit a little bit better for us. And that might even be too much space. And I want to avoid it being too big, because, you know, then we're not going to be able to, then it'll just look really weird on the coast. I'm going to go back to what I did. Let's kind of play around with this layout a little bit, and we'll get this college place down and go from there. All right. And so for right now, I think that's not actually a bad spot. And so you can see, you know, it has a nice view over the water. I like this building too. The reason that I kind of placed this instead of some other college options is I like it kind of feels like it belongs on a beach. I imagine that this looks like some, you know, these orange colors and the way these roofs are. I kind of imagine this being like on the coast of California or something. And so I think this looks really good in this area, since we're trying to go for like a more coastal type of thing. But yeah, so this extension wing provides only 200 capacity. Wow, that's actually not as much as I thought. The college dormitory, though, that adds some. And this is why I wanted to place this, you know, kind of closer to the water. So you can see we have this sports field that is pretty big, and I'm glad that I decided to do this, because we could place this either behind the building or next to it, and we still have enough room for it. I'm kind of thinking that next to it is not a bad option, because then we can, in the future, if we do the dormitory, we could place this, you know, either off to the side or kind of behind it here, and still have a nice open green space that we could look out directly over the ocean. If we put the sports field there, it kind of blocks that view, and I don't want to do that. And this doesn't add anything but attractiveness, but you know what? I don't really care. I kind of want the sports field right from the start. So let's place that down, and we'll wait on the dormitory for now. I'll expand that once we need to. But at the very least, that is not a bad looking campus. I'm really excited about this building. So now let's go ahead and just take a little bit. We'll connect up all the roads, kind of beautify this campus a little bit, and then we'll move on to actually building part of the city. Yeah, and you know what? Actually, I think before we start laying out some of these roads and actually getting to work, I'm gonna purchase this tile too. We do have the money. We definitely have the room in, you know, both our lump sum budget and then our monthly budget to purchase, you know, the tile and keep up with the upkeep cost. And the reason that I want to purchase this one is because I think it'll just give us a better idea of how these roads are going to all connect. And, you know, I don't want to just build this town just kind of based off of this one connection here. I want to think about how this is going to look in this whole area. So let me just take a second now that we've done that. And we already have this county road here. So if I drag this out, and we do have this kind of mountainous terrain here. And so I'm thinking that we're going to actually, I'm going to put this down. Actually, no, before I do that, we're just going to cut right through here and make this a really nice, I don't think there's that much of an elevation change. From here, yeah, so it's negative 0.1% to connect up with this road over here. So it's actually not, there's no elevation change between the 2 points. It's just, you know, there's some weird terrain going on in here. So I think it would be beneficial to actually just kind of do a little bit of a slope. We'll do something really, you know, pretty narrow. And we'll just kind of cut through like this. And is that the most realistic? Probably not. But I imagine that this terrain, this part might get flattened out a little bit. And I just don't really see a reason to have this really weird bumpy road, you know, when it's kind of like, if this is going to be a more developed area. And actually I might just go ahead and, again, I know it's not the most realistic, but I think this is something that over time, you know, this area might be a little bit more kind of developed and flattened, and, you know, it is what it is. But yeah, that to me is going to be a lot better for building. We can, you know, build a nice suburb here, and I'm not going to mess with the terrain kind of close to these hills, but I imagine that this road would have been being like a county road, would have been a, you know, a meaningful thing to kind of work with the terrain for this. Yeah, and this connection, I'm not quite sure what I want to do here yet. We'll maybe come back to this a little bit later, but yeah, the one that I want to focus on now is this connection here with this avenue. So I think we're going to have, I'm hesitant to make this into an avenue. We don't need to really do like a big divided highway here. I think what we could actually do is maybe we can bring the avenue around here a little bit, and then we'll have it kind of stop. And then we'll make kind of a town center over here. And then I imagine that this will kind of remain part of the campus, like this whole area over here. I imagine we'll put some houses here, maybe some small commercial, like student-centered stores and everything like that, little grocery stores, little, you imagine there's like a bookstore around here maybe. So we'll kind of develop that and build that up a little bit, and then we'll have the town center kind of be more over here. And then this whole area will be just kind of residential development and, until we get to this coastline, which might even be another project. This area here, I might make a little beachside thing, not in this episode, but at least in terms of this, I might make this just like for now, we'll just make it a 2-lane highway, and I might make it a 4-lane highway later on, but not at this very moment. I think it doesn't really make sense to do that. And of course I messed that up. Much better. There we go. All right. So yeah, so now we can connect this up here, and I'll probably make this into a little bit of a roundabout. I feel like college campuses and stuff, typically they're building more and more roundabouts nowadays. And I think it would be cool to put something here that's kind of a little bit of a centerpiece to the city. Like we have this nice flower bed. We have some different ones. We have this one with illumination. I don't like that one. Have some lights on it. That might look nice. So we'll have that for now, and then we'll have this avenue kind of connect up into here. So let's just redo this curve. And actually, I'm going to mess with this terrain just a little bit here too, and just kind of bump this level out a little bit, so we have a little bit more room to work. That looks pretty good for now. I like that. I like the way that looks. And now that we've got that kind of out of the way, I think it is actually time to jump in here, lay out some of these roads. And I'm not quite sure what I want to do yet, but we'll try to get creative and see what happens. All right, and you know what? I kind of don't hate this. Is it perfect? No, I've done a lot of weird things with the roads here, but I kind of did it on purpose. So I have a couple of areas, where I'm envisioning some certain things like I talked about in the beginning of the episode. So when I think of a college town, I went to Indiana University. And if you've never been to Indiana University or, any kind of big college town like that, it is literally the epitome of college towns, in the United States. There's a few big schools that are they had a lot of land to work with, kind of in a low population area. And so being in a college town is kind of cool because there's a lot of stuff for you to do as a student that's all within kind of walking distance of the campus. And, that includes places to live and places to, go out, grab some food, grab a couple drinks with your friends before or after class. But anyway, yeah. What I'm envisioning here is something kind of like a very walkable kind of small downtown square type feel. So I imagine we'll put some mixed use kind of along here, get some restaurants, some bars, and, there's a lot of parking. I want a lot of parking. I also want to make this kind of not have any really high speed limits, kind of a nice walkable area if need be. So that's why I kind of went with just the 1 lane here, so that people might be more inclined to not drive through these blocks unless they absolutely need to go to some of these businesses along this route. And then same thing here. I did this weird roundabout-ish thing. You'll notice that it just will funnel traffic, kind of down what's like Elk Street here, kind of into the campus. Or people can, circle around here, or it can, if you don't want to go into the campus, you could pick up this other kind of, more higher capacity road here rather than, I didn't want to make this a side street because I wanted to funnel people through here if they don't want to go into campus. And so in campus, I kept this spot kind of open because I want this to be like a little park, like a very big divided, kind of median sort of thing. So we'll have some pathways through here, some trees. We'll make this like a nice area. And I might even go as far as to make these, I'm tempted to make some of these a one-way road. Maybe like this one, for example, kind of make this like a little roundabout thing. We'll see. Right now, I think it's fine with the 2-lane roads. But yeah, I might want to make traffic go, a different way. So we'll see in a minute if I decide to do that or not. But yeah, and then here, this is just kind of a link between, this kind of main connection, and then people can go straight through this small neighborhood if they need to. I don't want this to be like a main road. I want to keep this kind of quaint and quiet, which is why I kept this as an alleyway. Instead, people can go over here to once Florence Street, and then they can link up with the avenue and take, you know, this Chestnut Street kind of into town rather than feeling so inclined to come through here. So hopefully this doesn't get a lot of traffic. If it does, I may even sever this connection and make this just like a cul-de-sac to this residential area. But at the very least, I probably won't develop anything here. I'll keep some trees here, make this a nice division between, you know, this noisy stadium and then this community over here. And then finally, I laid out, you know, what's going to be kind of the grid for this little town over here. I imagine this is just going to be the same type of development as this little community over here. So some of those waterfront homes, a mix between the North American and European. And then eventually, once we buy this tile, which I don't want to buy right now because it's you know, going to be expensive and there's not a lot of room to build. But what I want to do is make this like a little beach. And so we can have a little row of shops kind of along here. And then this road will link up and will just be a nice little cozy destination where, you know, if you're in the campus, you can probably get over here via bikes, even though we don't have them yet in the game. Or, I mean, you might even be able to walk here. It's not that far. And eventually, I do imagine that we'll have some bus service around here. So I just want to get this built up before I actually decide to do that. But yeah, in terms of this spot here, I'll probably just go ahead and expand out this little grid. And again, just make this some more residential development. We have a pretty decent unemployment rate right now, 7.7%. Not the greatest, but, you know, I envision the next episode or so we'll embark on some more industrial development kind of up in this area. So I'm not too worried if we focus a little bit more on residential in this episode and just do residential and commercial and, you know, not worry about unemployment too much right now, since that's something that I will address later. But yeah, like I said, for this area, we're going to have some mixed use, some commercial, same thing along this Florence Street here. We'll have some mixed use and commercial, and then it'll transition into our residential area. So I think with that being said, it's a perfect time to just go in, start getting this zoned out, and then after that, we'll do a little bit of detailing. And then I think I might just kind of sit back, turn on some music, build, and just bring you guys back in once we've just kind of done all of that. So enjoy the little time lapse, and I will talk to you guys in a minute. All right, here we go. That is, I think, not too bad of a campus. And so my logic for keeping all this, honestly, this detailing took me about 15 minutes. Really not bad for vanilla. And I mean, you just put down some quick services, some trees, some pathways, a couple of little props. And honestly, I'm really happy with that. From a distance, it looks pretty good, pretty manicured, pretty well taken care of. And if you'll notice, I got this little trick you hardly even notice, but this path is actually elevated up just by like 1.25 meters. And so it allows for the key wall, but it's really not that drastic of a change. And it's just from a distance, like you really don't even notice that it's elevated at all. So that was a quick little trick that I found to make the key wall spawn without having to do any kind of a crazy sorcery. So I'm happy with that. And yeah, but I left a little bit of room, here, so we can delete some of these pathways in the future if we need to expand out the college by adding like a dormitory. We can throw one kind of right here or something. But for now, we definitely don't need that. Our student capacity is 5,000. We only have 859 students in here at the moment. So overall, not bad. In terms of the town, so I haven't really talked since we started building this, and I'm pretty happy with it. It's a little bit more dense here than I kind of originally anticipated, but I guess that's just kind of the way that some of these mixed-use buildings are. I know a lot of them are a little bit taller, and overall, I'm not disappointed with this. This one is a little bit big, but I can live with it. I'm fine with that. I do like this fire station. I ended up putting down the German one, and I think it's kind of cool for this area. It's like a very, you figure this has been like an older town, and you have this really iconic old corner firehouse right here, and I really like that. Yeah, I can't complain about that building, and I kind of wish though. I wish that. Well, I guess you know what? I'm kind of an idiot, because if I want to make it bigger and kind of be a true wall-to-wall building, I can just add on the extensions, and might do that down the road, especially on the left side or on the right side here. Between these two, I think it would look good if these two were connected. But for now, that's fine. We could imagine that they might do some renovations in the future. But anyway, yeah. Just again, here's some little bushes, a little bit of detailing, nothing crazy, just kind of filling in some of these empty spaces. You'll notice that I've done that kind of all around, like right here. There's some other spots too. And so, yeah, you can really go crazy with that, with the new detailing tools that we have. And it's really nice. It's a really, really quick and easy way to make your cities feel a little bit more lively, even though there's not a ton of animations and stuff yet in the game. And, people walking around, like right now, this campus just looks really, really dead. And I don't really anticipate that people even walk around here, just because there's really nowhere for people to go. Even this sports field, I mean, look at that. There's like nothing going on. It'll be nice once we start getting some like, animations and people in the grandstands and playing tennis and stuff here. But yeah, right now, it looks pretty decent. I don't know what that guy's doing. This person's doing some jumping jacks. There we go. I guess some people are exercising, which is good. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. So before we end the episode, though, I do want to do one more thing, and that is put down a police station. And I still don't know yet what I'm going to do with these areas here. I might do some more residential expansion and just something kind of low-key. But the police station, I think I might put it down. We need one on this side of the city, so you could see our only police station is all the way over there, and it is the small one. I kind of want to put down like a regular one, but it's pretty big, and I'm not super happy with that. I could also put it down over here. I was going to put it down over here, but I think this might be a better spot, kind of closer to the campus. It could be kind of sort of like a campus security, as well, if you want to think about it that way. But yeah, I mean, I could use the German one. I could use the UK. Ooh, that one's actually not bad. Not bad. Let me just look at the stats real quick. So as is the case with many of the, with many of the UK buildings, they seem to have way higher of an upfront cost for literally no additional benefit compared to the regular vanilla building. So you'll see this one has 6 patrol cars, 25 jail capacity, and costs 15,000 a month. Exactly the same, except for the price. This is 285. This is 160. Don't know why, but hey, whatever, I guess, right? It's not the end of the world. And I think it would actually look pretty nice over here. I kind of like this building style. I think it's, it's kind of small. It doesn't really look too overbearing. And so I might put this down. I think right here might not be a bad place. And that fits in really, really well right there. I like that a lot. It kind of looks, like I said, like a sort of an administrative building, could be part of the campus, like a campus security, but it just fits in so well in that area. That's a great little asset right there. I really like that. And then maybe right here we could put down just another commercial building, even though it won't zone right now. I'm sure it will eventually. And yeah, in terms of like these little spots, I don't think I'm gonna zone anything along this road. I think this is gonna stay kind of building free. It's just gonna be a nice arterial for us to connect these two dense centers. And so I'll finish out zoning some residential here to kind of connect this up and fill this in. But same with this road, I think this might stay building free as well. And we'll just have some pathways or something here and kind of make it look a little bit nice. In terms of this, yeah, I'll zone out maybe a little more residential right here as well. Let me just do that real quick and then we'll call it an episode. So let me just fill in these couple of gaps before we end. All right, that's it. I'm starting to get carried away, and sorry, I just can't help myself. I've been playing this game a lot today, and it's really, really fun. But yeah, just such simple detailing, just a way to fill up a little bit of space. And you know, you have this awkward space. Otherwise, we'd have some weird building here and some grass between it. But instead, we have a nice little plaza where people can go and eat. And you know, at least you can imagine that they are doing that. But you know, can't complain. So yeah. I am really, really happy with this episode's build. I mean, look at how much we've done in and it's been a couple of hours since I've been playing this game, but I mean, I just really wanted to get to work and kind of flesh out this area, and I could not be happier with the result. So next episode, I'm pretty sure, let me check the unemployment rate again. Oh, it actually went down. So we did actually get a lot of commercial in here, so I guess that makes sense. And this school also, only 24 employees for the whole college. Interesting. Well, whatever. Anyway, at the very least, yeah, we have just tons of new jobs here in this downtown center. You know, new fire department, new commercial buildings scattered all around, new college, a lot of workplaces in this area. But I think in the next episode, I still want to focus on some more workplaces. So I think we're going to kind of work out this way a little bit. And I want to start maybe thinking about some farmland and even purchasing another tile and getting a kind of expanding this industry area over here. I imagine that we're going to bring this out kind of to the highway and maybe have another industrial area over here before, you know, we transition into some more rural stuff, especially like on this side here. Like this part and this part over here are just calling for an industrial area just right off of the expressway here. So we might tackle that in the next episode. And just because I'm curious, yeah, we got 2 tiles. Not bad. I think we can start working out in this area over here and really kind of get into the outskirts of the city and getting started with some of that development. So I have an idea for this spot. We're going to hold off on that for a little bit. So we'll come back to that. And same with this spot right here. Probably just going to do some more residential, you know, expansion and everything. I might even do that off camera a little bit if I feel so inclined to do so, but we'll see. But in the meantime, thank you guys so much for watching. This has been a super fun build. I'm loving how the city is progressing, and it's fun to kind of learning some tips and tricks to the game kind of as I go along here. So, you know, if there's anything that I did that you guys don't like, or anything that I didn't do that you guys would like to see, please feel free to leave a comment, and I would be happy to take any constructive criticism or advice or anything like that. Yeah, I always love to hear from you guys. So hope you guys all have a great rest of your week. I will see you guys in the next episode. Peace out.